Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audiblepodcast.com/Sorgatron Media. Over 75,000 titles to choose from for your iPod, iPhone, or MP3 player.
So you arrive at work on a cheerful Monday morning and realize immediately that it's going to be one of those weeks. What you need is an impossibly positive thinking, optimistic optimist in your life. One who says encouraging words like, "Won't you be my neighbor?" and "Have an awesome week of awesomeness." Well, we have just the solution for you. Your boss. Yes, your boss is the one who has the authority to bequeath to you a totally awesome week of awesomeness simply by saying the words. Good luck and have an awesome week.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the AwesomeCast, episode 42, as my screen tells me right now.
That is awesome.
Yeah, 42?
Yeah, 42.
We are... I already know the show title. Okay. I am Mike Sorg.
We are the answer to everything.
Yes, is the answer to everything this week, as you learn and educate yourself about the world and the little devices in your hand, along with us.
With devices in your hand. That's something you should really have looked at, Mike. I'm sorry.
That's kind of...
With us, as usual, is my trusty co-host, Rob De La Creta, the awesomest of all De La Cretas, joining us here from his secret warehouse laboratory. The monitors look back at you at this place.
I'm gonna call it the Rob Cave.
The Rob Cave. Okay, Rob, how you doing this week?
I'm doing pretty good. This is, so coming to you live from the Cotton Factory once again. The upstairs to where I actually work, which is the relatively secret Bat Cave of technological wonder. I actually, my boss watched a little bit last week, and he's like, yeah, I saw those, like, four crappy CRTs that your host had behind him.
Oh.
Like, we should get a bunch of monitors, just put like a whole wall behind you.
Wow.
If they want to help out, sure.
But yeah, also in the news, coming to you from my brand new MacBook Pro.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Sexy. What did you name her?
Its name is Pirate.
Nice.
I honestly, I usually don't name my devices. Oh, look, it's Marcus Mattis. It's my coworker. Is what are you doing? What is he? He's climbing underneath the sink.
Live podcasting, ladies and gentlemen.
What are you? I don't know what he's doing, but he's getting some Scotch Brite pads and wiping his... Okay, that's great. All right, have fun.
Bye-bye.
Go away, this is my alone time with the internet.
Go away. New MacBook Pro, I got a 13-inch, bottom of the line 13-inch, I'm going to upgrade it myself. Are
you allowed to do that? Does Steve know about this?
What?
I said, does Steve know about this? Are you allowed? Yeah, Jobs. Are you allowed to upgrade that yourself? I'm pretty sure you have to pay the geniuses for that.
No, I think I'll be all right. Okay. I'm actually hot tip if you're buying a MacBook Pro and you have 2 brain cells, which means you know how to replace a hard drive.
Wow.
Thanks
for making what I do seem.
Seagate Momentus XT on Newegg right now. It is a 500 gig hybrid drive, so it has a 4 gig SSD that automatically captures all of your most frequently used files into the SSD, and it's $99.
Ooh,
pretty good deal.
Not
so
bad.
Check it out. So I'm gonna pop that in, get some 8 gig of RAM action going on here. And nice. So far, it's a massive jump. I went from a 2-point-something Penryn dual core to a I don't even know. I have a 2.3 gigahertz Intel Core i5.
Nice. The i7 iMac I have at my one job has been treating me well, sir.
Yeah. You know, I was actually thinking, because you get a new laptop, and people are like, oh, which one did you get? What's the processor, whatever. The only way that I know what my processor is because I know how to look at it. But remember, back in the day when it was like the Intel Pentium 4, and you knew exactly like how many gigahertz, what speed your RAM was, what your latency was. But like you get into buying a Mac because you need a computer that works, and then you don't care about that stuff so much after you purchase it. It's just there.
And plus, like they messed it up so much. What?
I'm getting an echo somewhere.
You're getting an echo somewhere?
Yeah.
Just in your head?
Yeah, from Rob.
I'm not getting it.
Okay.
It's
what?
cutting a little bit, but
Okay.
all right. We'll see what happens with that.
I was trying to pinpoint it, but obviously I can't because it's in my head.
I can't pinpoint it
Yeah.
because it's in my head.
All right, so Rob got a new toy.
Yeah, Rob
Yes,
got
I
a new toy.
And
I'm also at the HD FaceTime HD.
FaceTime.
That's why you're smoother.
Where are you going? Sit down.
It might be why I'm smoother. And also, I'm not using a USB hub to deal with my Skype monster problems anymore, so I think that might be fixed with the new laptop as well.
Is that what it was?
I'm
Hello.
double checking.
Whoa.
Internet, are you there?
Yes, we're here.
What's going on over there?
Oh, we're trying to pinpoint the echo that's in my head.
Echo in your head.
Yes.
Head. Chicky chicky boom boom chicky boom.
I don't know. Okay, number one. I'm hearing
All
shit.
right.
Yep,
Okay.
you're here too.
Okay, anyhow.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
So, this is...
hmm
Oh, that's me. I'm Chachi.
That's you.
Yes.
Chachi's here.
This is a great intro. Keep
is.
going.
The longest of intros.
Yes. Well, that's because Rob was telling us everything that happens in his life.
I took a poop earlier. That was
And he simplified my job
Yes.
completely, saying that you only need 2 brain cells to do it.
Oh.
Oh, I'm
Nice.
sorry. You do a lot more than change hard
You
drives.
also just
Yeah,
sit
you're
at
right.
you also sit at a desk all day, so.
Yeah, that's true.
I gotta sit and stuff.
Anyhow, so this is the AwesomeCast. You can check us out at awesomecast.com,
That's right.
or you can email us at contact
Contact
at awesomecast.com.
Let's all say it together.
You want to do this?
Oh, usually hand it to me. 724
No.
Wait.
You misunderstood why I handed it to you.
Oh,
Because I was testing you to see if you memorized the phone
I
number
didn't
yet.
memorize it because it was always on the screen.
I
In front
know.
Of me.
725-258-CAST.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
what's the number?
You son of a.
What's the number, Sorg?
72425 something.
ACAST, come on.
Cast.
72425 ACAST. That's 72425222278. Back to you, Mike.
Oh, we do have another guest here in the studio. My brother showed up this week.
That's not him.
Oh, there he
There
is.
we
There he
go.
is. So he is the Silent Ninja on Twitter. Some may have seen or know him from the Wrestling Mayhem show, but he stopped by and he has a microphone in front of him, of all things.
Yep.
So now you're going to school. Tell people what you're going to school for.
I'm going for visual communications now.
Ooh.
Oh, hey, I've got a thing in that. My bachelor's is in graphic design and visual communication.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fancy.
They go in the ITT up here at Parkway Center. So, and he stopped by, and hopefully he has a little bit to chime in here.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Or he'll just sit there and be silent
And,
like
and
he normally
notice
is.
he's got this pretty sweet Transformer laptop, so he can stick with us iPad crowd. And he's got his tablet thing Windows 7 tablet thing going on, which I think we have crapped on several times in the last few weeks.
No. We crapped on tablets,
Okay, yeah.
not laptop/tablets.
Yes, no, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And to my knowledge, I think when you got this, the HP, something
The Touch Smart.
Touch Smart. I think this is the first consumer laptop that did this.
No.
Mhm.
When it
Well,
came out.
consumer.
Consumer,
Yes.
consumer, not business. I mean, it was like $850 when he got it, so it was really affordable. And you've been getting a lot of use out of that.
Yeah.
Bill, well, you're
Actually, I got it as Vista before.
yeah, it was Vista. You upgraded it, but you do a lot of drawing, and it helps for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you have the pressure sensitive stuff working in Photoshop yet?
Not on this.
Not on that one.
No,
Okay.
not on that. You'd have to get a Cintiq matched with a something. So you can get a ModBook Pro if you're into that, but those are like $3,000.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no. He's definitely on a student budget. So yeah. So yeah, this is the AwesomeCast, and
AwesomeCast.
let's get ready. We have stories to talk about.
We do.
Rob, do you want to take this first one?
Yeah. So Japan is in the news. It's kind of, we can't really not talk about it.
Mhm.
So if for some reason you've been under a rock, and if you're unaware, you should really get this checked out. Like, go talk to a brain doctor or something.
A doctor.
A doctor. So there was an earthquake in Japan, the second most powerful earthquake they've ever had, and one of like the top 7 or something most powerful earthquakes on the planet. And so there was a terrible tsunami, and it took a big chunk out of Japan and its infrastructure and everything that it does. And unfortunately, there are 10,000 missing or dead as a result of this tragedy. So our thoughts are with them, and hope they get their stuff back together. Also, there's 2 nuclear reactors that we should all be kind of worried about. Is anybody else paying attention to this? Or
yes.
Is it just me?
No,
No. Kind of concern-wise, I was like, oh, that's a new problem. Now, from what I understand, they are some, like, as far as nuclear reactors go, this is some of the most high-tech in the world that they have going on over there.
Right.
Yeah, well, the thing is that they're some of the most high-tech, but they also haven't been reinforced in 15 years.
Oh, well, that's a problem.
So there are new guidelines for reinforcing reactors to withstand this sort of earthquake that have come in the last 10 years or so, and these reactors haven't been reinforced yet. So that's why there's such huge problems. Basically, to sum it up, inside a nuclear reactor, there are fuel rods that have to be cooled constantly, and the earthquake had a severe effect on the cooling systems of both of these plants. So they... Basically, what they're doing right now is trying to force water into the cooling system. They're just pouring seawater into it because there's a lot of it.
Yeah, the last I heard, they were pumping it directly in from the ocean, right there.
Yeah. And I think I read on Al Jazeera, their way of describing it was that the situation is sort of like trying to fill a balloon that's already fully inflated with water. Like it's already full of air, and you're trying to pump water into it. And the best case scenario is that for the next year they will be doing this. They're working around the clock to get it under control, but this isn't something where we're going to wake up next week and they'll be like, oh, the reactors are cool, it's totally fine. No, they're going to have to keep eyes on this for at least a year before it'll be in a situation where it can be managed and it will be totally cool. Worst case scenario is that one of these plants has a meltdown, which means that over a path of, say, 10 days, the radioactive fallout will have reached California and all the way over to almost Oklahoma.
Wow.
So that would be pretty... I mean, it's like 700 rads, so it's pretty low, but definitely the sort of radiation that can cause health concerns.
Yeah, it's something that'll affect long-term everybody in its path. So this is kind of like the worst-case scenario that, you know, when you had that high school section where you talked about nuclear energy and everything. Like, that was always the worry when we covered over that section, I felt, you know, that kind of thing. And it's realized.
Oh, yeah.
Really
I mean, a meltdown is the worst thing that can happen. And the other thing to consider before we get to the tech side of all this stuff is that if any of this goes any worse than it already is, it basically sets nuclear technology around the world back a good 50 years. I believe Germany has already said that they're considering canceling investment into further nuclear development based on what's happened in Japan.
This puts a kibosh on everybody that's been pro-nuclear, it's safe, it's clean, because then something like this happens that's out of left field, you know, but not, because they are on the Ring of Fire. So
yeah, it's not necessarily out of left field. It's just, man, they really should have reinforced those reactors.
But the people, you know, I'm not, you know, again, trying to do pro or against nuclear energy. I'm kind of iffy on all of those energy sources. You know, the talk is it's clean, it's safe. We've been doing this for how long? You know, the only concern, like, you know, we haven't built so many in this country in so long, and they're trying to get more. Because nobody wants one of these in their backyard, and that's the issue.
Yeah, I mean, your property values go through the floor because people don't trust these things.
I have friends that can see the towers up there in Beaver County from their house, and it's kind of scary. Like, you know, living when I was going to school down here, I was living up in Beaver, and there's the evacuation routes, and that's kind of like, really, you know, that's kind of like gives you a different feeling, you know, for me not being around that usually, and if something like that would have happened here, you know, God forbid, you know, something shifts and we start having earthquakes like that here, those things are done, because they're probably not even that reinforced in comparison. Because
certainly. I mean, you'd expect something that's on the Ring of Fire to be pretty well reinforced.
You also have to think that this isn't. What?
I just noticed John in the chat room is the one I'm talking about. He's like, yes, I'm dead.
But I mean, you also have to realize that this whole situation is human error.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yes.
Well, and I realize it's an expensive process, and they're like, well, when's the last time we had an earthquake? I mean, do we really have to worry about that?
I think it's pretty common in Japan, isn't it? I mean, it's as common in Japan as California, I would think.
Right.
So...
Yeah, they're just like, oh, well, it'll take an earthquake of this amount of strength to really affect that, so we don't really have to worry about that.
Well, no matter what happens in the realm of natural disasters, or even if you are as prepared you think you can be, there's always a level of preparedness above that you could be, but you're not.
Right.
Of course.
And when you're dealing with something like this, I think you should automatically be as prepared as possible.
Yeah, but there's a lot of bureaucracy around this, of course.
Yeah, it's all about funding. And
I realize that, but it all comes back to, and I'm not saying this to be a mean person.
No,
I feel bad for all the events that are happening in Japan, and what the heck was that? But yeah, you just covered your camera.
There was a spot on my camera, and it's actually a reflection from a light.
I mean, my heart goes out to them, and I hope that everything gets settled as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But it all comes down to being human error.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it always will be.
Right, exactly.
Human error versus nature.
Right.
Unfortunately. Well, on top of that, we can say there's a lot happening there. Let's say we got the most out of this social media wise. I know a lot of people were saying I didn't want to turn on CNN once. Everything I got was from there. I know guys like Mikey from the Freak Show and a bunch of other people were passing around a lot of the tsunami videos of the waves coming in, just wiping everything out, like all day on Friday. Like I was at work and I didn't have a chance to go in, but I just kept seeing tsunami. I was like, it was just flooded with stuff, and that's how I knew about it. And then to go, CNN was on the other day because I was there with my grandfather and my great uncle, so that's their source. And it's just like the same video over, and they're speculating on nuclear power and what this meant and the fallout from the tsunami and everything. And it was just like just sound bites and everything, and it just versus what you're getting online. And from what I was hearing at the Mac Break today, they were talking a lot of stuff on CNN and all these other channels. It's just plain wrong.
Right.
Like there's just people speculating over this stuff.
That once again takes us back to the human side of things.
Well, but these are unfortunately, the people that aren't on the social media line of things go to CNN and MSNBC and take it as fact, unfortunately, because like this is the news, this is what's happening, this is the truth that's being delivered to me, and they're saying, well, there's they're speculate there'll be an explosion, or there has been an explosion or something over there. It's just not been true apparently. So. Yeah,
there has been a lot of speculation and a lot of and there was something I found yesterday. I don't have the link for it, but somebody had taken something like 24 different YouTube videos from 24 different people and built them all up in a grid with a single play button. So what you could do is you could hit play at the top of the page, and you would see the earthquake happening from the perspective of 24 different people at once.
Jeez.
To like really give you the weird thing about all this social media stuff is that yet CNN can report, and back in say the 60s the big deal was like, or even say Vietnam, like we were suddenly in the field, you could be there but you still weren't there. It was still a single perspective. But through social media, it's such a huge flow of information that it's, even though it's on the other side of the world, it's right next to it.
And this is a country, it's not like Haiti or someplace in the Philippines I think got hit recently, stuff like that. This is Japan that's like on the forefront of this stuff. They are. Everybody's got a cell phone. Everybody's on top of technology over there, and just the flood of stuff that came out there was tremendous. And you see how strong that can be, versus something in Egypt where I can't think that everybody in Egypt is able to be on Twitter. I mean, there is organization and movements, but it's got to be nothing along the lines of what they have in Japan and what we saw flood out of there in the meantime.
Yeah.
So.
And so to tie all of this into tech, the one you could totally call it a cool thing. So remember during the Egypt protests, we mentioned that Google had used its person finder tool to try and help people connect with other people. So they've opened up a crisis center that shows a map of the earthquake and everything. And as of 4 days ago, 5,500 records of missing people had already been posted. I don't think there's any numbers on what has been successfully reconnected, but the fact that the tech is out there and that something that's completely readily available that to help people get reconnected. Because, like I said, there are 10,000 people missing or dead. So hopefully some of these records get straightened out. And the other thing to consider as a result of this earthquake is that as menial as a thing it might be in comparison to missing or dead, it's already affected world markets. And it's also going to affect supply chains for every electronics manufacturer you can think of. For instance, Toshiba is making the NAND flash memory chips for the iPhone and the iPad and a whole lot of tablets that are launching this year. And at this point, those tablets might never come out because the plants are down and there's currently no issues for, like, nobody's even considering reopening any of their plants. There's just way too much to worry about right now.
Yeah.
So
And some of
Sony's going to see it, Texas Instruments, Hitachi. The whole tech industry is currently on hold because of this natural disaster.
And some of these, it sounds like, are plants that are not necessarily affected directly by this or in other parts of Japan, but it sounds like they kind of mass shut everything down until stuff gets figured out in that country. So it may be short term for a lot of them. I don't know if we have a list of what plants were directly affected physically by what happened.
I know the Toshiba is examining its plant. One of the Sony's factories took a hit. Texas Instruments lost 2 of its plants that manufacture wafers and DLP chips. Hitachi lost 6 of its manufacturing facilities. So it's going to be a rough year as far as supplies are concerned. And even if it's just one little chip in something from a hardware engineering standpoint, that one little chip could be awfully important, and it's not uncommon for a product to be held back for years because they can't get their hand on a chip.
Kind of back to the tech companies actually doing some positive help out, like Google is, and I think this might be what's linked over here for that Chilla has in the chat room. I don't know if you want to check that real quick, Chachi. It's I know the Apple stores over there have been allowing people to get on Wi-Fi and use their stores as a charging station for their cell phones because I guess Wi-Fi, like open Wi-Fi, isn't as prevalent over there in Japan. From what I'm hearing, I know AT&T has allowed free phone calls to Japan for the time being to help connect people over there. So you're seeing these kind of things pop up with companies like that. There was something else they were saying about the Apple employees at the plants over there. I think they were saying they were allowing them to just check into whatever hotel. It doesn't matter if it only have 5 stars available or something. Do it. We'll take care of you. So it's really cool to see that these companies are stepping up, at least in the face of something like this.
Yep.
So.
It's the link is over at kevinrose.com.
Okay. Yeah. That's right. He has been posting about stuff like that.
It's a blog update letting everyone know what Apple's doing to help out. I'm not going to go through and read the whole thing on air. But it's over at www.kevinrose.com. It's the main page.
Excellent.
So our thoughts are with everybody in Japan. We hope it all works out, and certainly hope there's no meltdowns involved. Fingers crossed.
And Rob goes and takes something completely serious and makes it a joke.
Yeah.
Well, if you can't laugh, then all humanity is lost.
Yeah. So
all right. So
hoping for the best.
Yeah.
So also, unfortunately involving Japan. The Affleck duck, that commercial?
Yeah, I learned a lot about Affleck today thanks to this.
Yeah, that's
I think
crazy.
we all did. So Gilbert Gottfried, the voice that everybody hates,
Wait,
he
everyone
is
hates
the
him?
He was
was.
Iago. He was Iago from Aladdin. Come on.
Yeah,
Up all night on
yeah.
USA, man. Come on.
Him and Bobcat Goldthwait need to lose their voice.
Well,
permanently.
Bobcat kind of disappeared into I don't know what. So where did my mic go?
I turned it down because you got loud.
I'm fine. This is my
I'm fine.
This
Give me
is
another
my
drink.
volume. Matt, what do you got to say to that?
Oh.
Okay, good. I feel like I'm on Fifth Element.
Wow.
Yeah, so Gilbert Godfrey, he broke up with his girlfriend, apparently.
Wait, he had a
and-
girlfriend? That-
Yeah.
Man, he had
Wow.
a duck. Look at that picture with the duck there on this article
Yeah.
we got linked.
So he broke up with his girlfriend and made some offensive jokes on his Twitter account. Something like, now I'm definitely quoting Gilbert Godfrey. This is not me saying this, and this does not represent the feelings or opinions of anyone involved with AwesomeCast, but quote unquote, in Japan you don't have to go to the beach comes to you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, I understand that somebody's telling me that in Affleck is apparently Japan is one of their biggest markets.
Really?
That's what I'm told. Yeah, if Affleck, which is the top foreign insurance company in Japan, which gets 75% of its revenue from the market, so that's kind of
Wow.
a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean,
certainly
they
Gilbert
have-
crossed some lines which have now been deleted from Twitter, of course.
Of
Right.
course,
And then
of
he
course.
followed it up with such great quotes as, Japan called me, they said maybe those jokes are a hit in the US, but over here they're all sinking.
Oh.
And I was talking to my Japanese real estate agent. I said, is there a school in this area? She said, not now, but just wait.
Yeah, it
man.
also says in this article that he was famously made 9/11 jokes 3 weeks after the tragedy.
Yeah, at the roast of Hugh Hefner. He
Well, that was at a roast. So
it was at a roast, but
it's
still, it was 3 weeks
classless.
after 9/11. He made a 9/11
I
joke,
think
and
at a-
nobody thought it was funny.
I have not seen anything that's off limits at a roast. So if he did that on Twitter, But yeah,
Listen,
So
we all know the guy needs to do something to get attention.
I didn't even know he was the duck.
Exactly.
I had no idea.
Exactly.
really,
It makes sense.
he doesn't hide his voice at
He
all.
says
It's just
two
Gilbert
words.
Godfrey.
He just says Affleck. I just thought someone going Affleck. You know,
No, he says some words.
I could do that. I could do that. See, Chachi did that. There you go. Replace
Well, they are
Gilbert Godfrey
currently,
with Chachi.
if you're interested in being the next Affleck Duck, they are currently on a search for the next voice of the Affleck Duck.
We need to submit all of us. Matt, real quick.
Affleck.
That was good. That was good. I think we found his calling. So
I felt that.
Go
I
ahead.
felt that.
Go ahead and try it, Rob.
Right here.
Yeah, go ahead and try it.
There you go.
Oh,
I like that.
Rob's good.
We're going to cut all these out and send it to Affleck.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else is going on?
There
in
was
the news?
something called an iPad released this week.
No,
what?
Again?
Nobody I know bought one.
Wait.
But everybody else did, apparently. I know my one coworker, Bernadette, she was supposed to get one on Friday, but of course she got off work at 5 o'clock, and they were already handing out tickets at 4:30 at her local Best Buy that she tried. And she tried another one, and man, no luck. So, but I was watching the Twit coverage of the pop-up store at South by Southwest they did, which is just a placement Apple store they did that just sold iPad 2s and the covers and whatever. They may have some accessories or something, which makes sense since it's probably just about everybody at South by Southwest was going to be getting an iPad. So I think they made most of their numbers there. 3 to 4 week wait if you didn't get one. I know
Yeah.
Chachi's sad about that.
Wow.
But people were pretty happy with it. The most impressive thing I'm seeing are a lot of benchmarks and there are new versions of games like Infinity Blade. I know, Matt, you've been playing Dead Space and some of those other high-end games that they've been releasing lately that take advantage of the dual core. The Power VR chip in there is apparently they say it's getting pretty close to our current generation video game consoles.
Wow.
So it's getting pretty ridiculous as far as like and it's underclocked too.
Listen, I understand. All right. No, you know what? I have nothing bad to say about this device.
Mhm.
I haven't touched one, therefore I have nothing to say bad about this device.
Mhm.
If it truly is better than the original iPad, which it most likely is, because Apple never releases something that's worse than the first version.
No.
All right. Then I believe them when they say it's closer to console gaming.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that
Here's the but. Get the but in.
There is a but. Console gaming, in my mind, will always involve a controller.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whether
Not
it be a
touchscreen.
little paddle or the PlayStation Move or
Right. It'll never be touchscreen.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
well, I think
That does not make for reliable console gaming.
yeah. Well, your console gaming or stuff you're thinking about like usual, like your first person shooters, your sports stuff that requires buttons. But you're seeing a lot with like, especially with games like Infinity Blade. Now, Matt, you played more Infinity Blade than I have. I just bought it recently on a sale a couple weeks ago. But it's a touch interface, not so much buttons. Can you explain that a little bit?
Basically you swipe on the screen like to attack.
Yeah.
And then you can dodge with like two buttons on the screen.
There's
there.
like two side button touch areas. Yeah.
And then there's like a few special moves that have like buttons too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
pretty
fun.
it's pretty intuitive, and you're not really bothered by the button issue.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's what you're going to see. You're going to see like games like that kind of change your control thing. You know, other than like, you know, they bring Madden over, instead of us having our layout on our Xbox controller, we have, well, here's the run button, here's the pass button, here's the, you know, the dodge button and everything like that. So, Chachi, I see that.
Oh, darn. The only reason I put me up is so I can show the contact.
I mean, you know, easiest thing to do is stuff that's like all tilty and you know, gimmicky or little, you know, little casual games like Angry Birds and stuff. But I think this is a new market, and I think it's going to mature into stuff like a Dead Space or Infinity Blade eventually, where you'll still get your Xbox because you want your buttony controllers, but then you'll have this. They've said, better graphics than the 3DS that just came out, the Nintendo 3DS.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
No, I think Nintendo's going to be in trouble.
Well,
big time.
When it comes to handheld gaming, yeah.
Because more and more iPads are showing up in the homes, and the kids are playing it.
Right. Both Nintendo and Sony are
worried.
Yeah, they should be.
Well, yeah,
when it comes to handheld gaming, they both made giant mistakes.
Well, Sony's going phone, so they're at least trying to get in the same market.
Right.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and the numbers that I'm seeing as far as people who are purchasing the iPads, it looks like pretty consistently people are saying that 75% of all the people who purchase the iPad 2 are people who have never purchased an iPad before. So.
And it does seem like there's not much unless you really, really wanted that camera for FaceTime. Because you don't want to take pictures because it's only as good as the iPod Touch camera.
Well, Mike in the chat room is saying that the 3DS is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
From experience.
And supposedly this has better graphics than that and on a bigger screen.
Right.
So I'd like to see a side-by-side comparison of, I don't know what's going to be common ground between the two, but, you know, something's got to be. What's that?
App Store.
Sorry, what? App Store? I can't. I've got an App Store.
He has something in his throat. Are you all right, Rob?
There's an App Store in my throat. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I got you.
And it's pretty sweet because I can see you behind me while looking at me.
That's great.
So anything you do right now, I can see. I just wanted to bring up the point where I'm done bashing all of this handheld gaming that's coming out on the tablets or phones, because of my journey I've been doing. The 1001 games. No, you think I'm doing it as
I want to see where this goes.
You think I've been doing it as a shameless...
But I just love that your video game blog has become like this journey of self-discovery.
Well, no, it's not even that.
But no, I think it's awesome.
It's just that before, there are certain games where I wouldn't have even touched because of my thoughts.
Preconceived notions.
Yeah. Mostly the MMOs. I've tried a lot of them. And now I can honestly say which ones are good and which ones are terrible. So until I personally pick up these devices and try them out, then I can't really say anything bad.
Okay. And that's why I need to get you back to an app store so you can meet your shoeless friend.
No,
again.
I will beat him. There will be a hobo stabbing.
You're gonna take on a genius. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Call him. No, he's not a genius. He doesn't work at the Genius
He's
Bar.
so smart he doesn't need shoes. Come on. No. All right. It was anything else by the iPad about the new iPad that stuck out to you, guys? Anybody seen anything?
I finally got around to watching the video for the smart cover.
It's
yeah?
thinner.
What do you think?
Magic.
It is magic, isn't it?
It's ridiculous.
It's
when I was
thinner.
at the Apple Store picking up my laptop, I wanted to get a look at the iPad too, but unfortunately there was like 50 people like clogging around the one. There was no way to. I couldn't even see the thing.
Yeah. Well, it didn't. For as much as they sold, there were still the people there like, oh, you don't buy 1.0 of a product from Apple. Well, here's 2.0. Here's the rest of them. Pro tip: apparently, the AT&T and Verizon stores. Not a lot of people. If you go online, it might not be a 3 to 4 week wait. I heard rumor, and nobody was going to the Verizon stores when it opened on Friday, for the iPad. So it is available for everything, all those at least. One thing, something the apps that came out. I saw a demo today on MacBreak of GarageBand by Alex Lindsay. Oh man.
For what, the iPad?
For the iPad.
Ooh.
And apparently my manager at work has it and says it's pretty tremendous. And he has a first-gen iPad. Because my worry was, I just hear stuff dropping behind the desk. It's really worrying me.
Yeah.
You dropped the ball again. Are you playing with those marbles in there?
Yeah,
the
I am.
Ninja Turtle marbles?
Yeah.
Oh, there. Who is that? Is that Shredder?
I don't know.
Oh,
I
man.
just dropped one.
I
Sorry.
should get a picture of those for the site.
I'm dropping balls.
What was I? But no, GarageBand looks tremendous, and apparently it doesn't like lag or anything on an iPad 1, so don't worry about that. He also said get iMovie for iPad for this. I was like, why would I do that? You know?
Well, apparently people are releasing videos that they shoot on the iPad. You told me about
Yeah,
this.
shoot on the iPhone
Yeah,
and everything.
They shoot on the
but
iPhone
why,
and edit on the iPad.
Why do I want an editor on here when I'm shooting on my phone? Now, now, here's a scenario for you. We went to the Pittsburgh Power Arena football game this past Friday.
Power.
The power. I have a blog over there, sorgatron.com, including
Plug.
the video I'm talking about.
Plug.
Well, yeah. But I just had a quick video I shot, us down in the field afterwards on my 3GS. I'm like, man, I wish I had iMovie. And when we're talking today, I'm like, it'd be really nice if I could get iMovie on this. And then somehow I could transfer the footage from my phone. Even if I get like a new 4 or 5, whatever, when I upgrade, I am really going to want to do that quick editing on the phone. Like, how bulky is it? I haven't played with it. Maybe, Rob, have you played with iMovie on your 4?
Yeah, I have, and it's. I can't do it, basically.
Yeah.
It's just kind of frustrating.
Yeah, I feel like this interface would be a little better. And I was just doing quick stuff, putting it together, threw a couple pictures in, threw text in. When I do quick, videos for YouTube like that, I'm not really going all out for it. Since it's just camera phone footage.
Right.
From a 3GS of all things, not even the HD like you guys have. So, it felt like a waste to bring it into my computer. I fired up Final Cut because, frankly, I don't know how to use iMovie, which is weird to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
And just bring it over here, do my couple of cuts, slim this down where I was just kind of walking around with a camera, get Chachi, hugging joystick, and it's good. But yeah, I don't know. But I heard there's Bluetooth options.
That sounded really bad. Get Chachi hugging joystick.
Yeah, hug your joystick.
I didn't hug him.
You wanted to.
I did.
I could see you wanted to.
I wanted to put him in
but
my
you did not
pocket.
seem like he was a little guy.
I know.
He was a little guy.
Yeah, I wanted to put him in my pocket.
PittsburghPowerFootball.com. If you're in the area, go check it out. It's tremendous.
It is
I don't know
blast.
anybody that did not have a good time unless you stood in line for Living Social for 45 minutes. Can we mention that?
Yes.
That actually.
That's a text.
This is an impromptu text story.
It is a text story.
LivingSocial.com in the area, and this is not the first time we've seen an issue like this with Groupon and such. They had one that went around. It was like $12 for regular tickets, $25 to sit in the end zone.
Yeah.
A lot of people, of course, did the inaugural game. I saw one person actually print out his tickets for the wrong game and had to go buy tickets.
Yeah.
That was his fault.
Yeah.
Apparently, 45-minute wait. That one guy, did he come in late because of the line?
Yeah.
Yeah. They had one line for all the Living Social people.
Yeah.
That
One
was rough.
line.
And this has been a problem. Like Groupon, I remember the night we went to this. He just dropped his marbles again.
Just dropped another ball.
We went to a local haunted house called Scare House, scarehouse.com. Actually, we'll be talking to that guy next week, I think. And we'll ask him about this. But we got our Groupon, and it was like the last night I think we could cash it in on, because you couldn't do it on Saturday.
Right, you had to do
Friday
it,
or Saturday.
You had to do it Monday through Thursday.
So they had like the prepaid line if you buy it online, and then the other line to pay there, which is usually longer.
Right.
It was like twice as long for us. Not horribly long around the building because it was Thursday night. And I'm like, what's going on? He tweeted me back, and he's like, yeah, it's the Groupons. So the numbers are kind of screwed up tonight.
It's not really the venue's place.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it kind of is.
So why are you playing with the marbles so bad?
I don't know.
Anyways, but
yeah, it kind of is because they could handle the situation better.
yeah, and then,
However, or they could limit how many they sell, like cut it down even more.
But we have these small companies that, and then I hear about little jewelers that are like making their stuff. Then they are doing framing or some other, smaller, thing like that. And they get this influx of thousands of orders. They can't handle it. And
Well, Chilla just said that they got tickets for a getaway weekend from Living Social, called to book it, and it was practically sold out.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, it's a complete catch-22 is that when you go to Living Social, you're going to sell a lot of stuff. So as a small business or somebody who's just trying to get your feet off the ground, it's a fantastic opportunity. But the problem is
you need to limit.
Sometimes Living Social will force you from getting your feet off the ground into supporting an arena of people.
Yeah.
And you just can't do it.
It's like, are you sure you can jump this far?
Exactly.
It's kind of like, the people that they put a hit video on YouTube, get 1 million hits, and they have nothing to follow up. They weren't ready for that next step. They didn't have a game plan to go around that. And you go from there to people like somebody like, Justine, Pittsburgh native, that, has pretty much a business around it, I mean, she's spun that into, I don't even know what all she's doing these days. And then you have the David the dentist, the kid that's like just all drugged out from the dentist, and he turned it. He has T-shirts. They got like $500,000 off of all the merchandising off of it.
That story was pretty cool because what happened was they started getting this really ridiculous amount of hits, and Google actually came to them and said, hey, can we get your permission to put ads on this? Well, and we'll give you a cut of the money.
You know what? They do that with a lot of people when you get enough. But they've been hitting me up, and then we have the videos we've been hitting up are some of our old wrestling videos from a couple years ago, and they've been doing really good with links and everything. But I'm like, look, I have logos in this. Is this all right? They don't clarify anything. If you have any little piece of music, or you just kind of ignore it, and maybe I'll let you through. But I've been having so much problem with the promoted stuff. And nobody will tell me what's wrong. It's Google. I mean, their customer service problem.
You have to have a plan B.
They're not exactly good for customer service.
Yeah. But then, you're right. There has to be a plan B.
You have to have a plan B before you go with plan A in this business.
And this is
not plan. You have to have a step B before you go start step A.
Before it was YouTube saying, hey, we'll run ads on you.
Yep.
It was, something like merchandising.
Yeah.
Selling T-shirts, the Hide Your Kids guy. He's doing pretty damn good on T-shirts,
Yeah, you have to have a step 2 before you start step 1 in this business, or you're gonna fail.
Yeah.
I mean, people like Living Social are gonna give you a shot, and if you don't have step 2 figured out, and you fail at step 1 because of a company like Living Social, that's your fault. That's not their fault. I mean, that's all there is to it. It is not their fault. You have to handle that.
Groupon and Living Social are the enablers.
Right? No, they're a stepping stone.
Yeah, I mean, they need to be used as a tool, but you have to make sure you can handle the tool. And it's also I haven't used Living Social as a business. I don't know if there's the ability, but it might be something for Living Social to consider from a customer satisfaction standpoint. Talk to whoever's signing up for these deals and saying, how many of these do you want to sell? How many of these do you think you can actually handle?
And it's people powered. That's what everybody's saying when Groupon was getting offered by Google. It's people powered, people making the sales. Why would Google want them?
Right.
You know, and that's what their advantage is. And they hopefully they're already doing this when they're talking with these groups. But then again, there's nothing they can do if somebody's like, yeah, I can handle it, I'm good. You know, I signed an agreement. Okay. You know, and yeah, they might take a hit or a penalty or something because of it when Groupon gets the bad PR or something. But still, it's still bad. I mean, there's people, I know the guy we're talking about that had the Living Social problem at the game. He said, I'm never using Living Social again. I'm like, look, it's not Living Social's problem. It's Pittsburgh Power or the Console Energy Center's problem. Right. They didn't manage it right. They didn't manage the influx that they got from this deal. You know,
if you know
something,
you sold...
you know, if I can't make enough widgets for the widget that I sold on Groupon, that's my damn fault for not having enough widgets or knowing I couldn't make the massive widgets.
Right.
You know, or sprockets or sprockets. That's what I was looking for.
Sprockets widgets.
Sprockets widgets. Push the big button. Go home. Jan.
But I mean, I've used Living Social before.
I don't know.
Oh, me too.
And I had no problem with it. I got a free $20 Amazon gift card.
Which was genius.
Bingo, me too.
Which was genius. Everybody got that gift card. There was no reason not to get that gift card.
Everyone bought that gift card.
And everybody got on the mailing list, and now we know about Living Social.
Right. And it was a genius move.
Mm-hmm.
They made a lot of money that day.
Yeah.
Although I'm like, what does this have to do with Pittsburgh?
It doesn't. It's just a location.
Nothing at all.
Exactly.
They were able to pull something off. We all bought it. Some of us got it for free because we were able to get other people to buy it because they weren't able to say no to this deal.
Some of us are... Yeah. So I want to pose a question to you guys here because there are two stories. One I think was in the rundown from last week we carried over, but one I also noticed. Is the bandwidth party over for us? We've been dealing with this with our cell phones. I just got some overage charges on the MiFi. And now I might have to worry about it. Well, maybe not me, but if you're an AT&T Uverse subscriber, you might have overage fees in the near future. According to the article, let me pull it up to double check the numbers, but I believe it was 150 gigabytes is the new cap. And remember, we had the same thing about them to start throttling or cutting off on Comcast at about 250 gigabytes. So this is significantly less for DSL, and I think is it basically cable? Yeah, DSL Uverse, because this is their TV offering too. I think for AT&T.
Yeah.
So, and then on top of that, somebody put in here last week, T-Mobile's data plans just got restructured.
That's for their...
Is that the European one?
No, that's for their... I was reading that story. It's for their... That thing that you
the
just...
MiFi.
Yeah, that's
the
their
internet
MiFi.
only thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's not their... From what I can tell, that's not their actual data plans.
And
that's for...
And you use a lot more data using that thing because it's usually hooked up to your laptop, your iPad.
Right, the Web Connect. That's what it is.
Okay. That was so...
that's what it is.
Which is a raise, and there you go. I mean, all these numbers are going up. If you're a high data user on what they said on AT&T and Verizon, because I know they've been looking at them lately since the iPad just came up, and they're definitely they're expensive on both sides. If you're well, I think AT&T, I don't think you're allowed over 2 gigabytes, or your averages are higher or something. Your overages are higher. But this throttling and everything as far as the caps on our landline, I know I use a lot of stuff. I watch a lot of Hulu, Netflix, all that stuff.
Well, the funny thing about this news is at the exact same time, BT in the UK, their Infinity subscribers, hey, guess what, guys? No more usage caps.
Yeah. What's that? I mean, we've been always talking about Canada had the worst of throttling and usage caps, and just slaughtered in what they've been paying to have an iPhone, and now we have this going on in Europe of all places where T-Mobile just had very restrictive caps they put on their stuff. I don't think any of these companies know what the hell they're doing.
No, they really don't. And the numbers aren't there to support it. If you want to listen to somebody rant endlessly about how ridiculous all these bandwidth caps and usage fees are, find anything involving Patrick Norton and the word bandwidth.
Yeah, I've heard him a couple times.
If you want, he's also a great information source. If you want like a collection of info on it, as far as why this really doesn't make sense.
He really gets into the one thing I like about. I've watched Patrick Dorn again. You know, like a lot of these guys since days on the screensavers on ZDTV. He is the guy that I love when they have him on Twit, because he will just go off on a topic and knows the ins and outs.
He just flips out.
I mean, like everything from like how your HD TV works, and how 3D is BS to this bandwidth stuff. It's insane. I love it seeing him on there.
Yeah, but the commerce, like the money figures, aren't there to legitimize all of these caps and all of the There's no like bandwidth is increasing. The technology is becoming cheaper. This is the way things progress in tech. It's Moore's law applied to a different area. It is. Things get better, they get faster, they get more plentiful, and they get cheaper. It's how I'm able to buy a $100 partially flash drive for my laptop. It's cheaper. So there's no reason for any of the stuff to become more expensive for anybody. Except for the fact that they won't. Basically what it comes down to is the service providers don't want to foot the bill for upgrading their network to the new, faster, cheaper technology.
Yeah. It's. I mean, these are companies, especially with the telcos. They're like, well, we've basically had the same technology for about 50 years, and just had money come in on it, and now it's like, now we have to keep up. It was what did we talk about? I was talking about schools the other day about how we still had Apple IIe's in 1997 at my school. And it was like, well, you're talking about a small school where you buy a kickball and it lasts you for you buy sporting equipment for gym and it lasts you for 15 years. These books last for 5 to 10 years, and then my computer I need to buy every 3 years. They're not going to turn around the budget for that because nobody can wrap their head around that. And that was just starting. Yeah, that was just starting. Now it's even worse.
We're all like, what?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what? An iPad 1? It doesn't even have a camera on it. Oh, I mean, that, it's even worse now, completely. Yeah, it's just, it's not supported. And I have a trouble wrapping my head around, what are they paying for? They're paying for maintenance of the lines. I can't think that bits cost money like this.
They don't. That's one of the reasons. Like free software. One of the reasons free software is available is because it's really easy to replicate bytes. It's free to replicate bytes. Yeah. It's not free to replicate physical pieces of equipment, which is why they're scoffing at the idea of upgrading their networks.
It's like these companies are trying to re-educate us so they can charge us. And then
they're really trying to force our hand, unfortunately it's happening.
Yeah. Well, that's you got your series at Tubes guy. You got these discussions that are happening in the public sector on record of this insanity, and that's what everybody's hearing, and now that's what everybody's understanding is. I mean, it's not about speed now; it's about amount. Because it was the speed race before. There was no limit to how much stuff I could download on my 56K modem. But now I have a 15 gigabyte connection, or megabyte connection. Now there's a problem. Really? Well, shouldn't everything kind of gone along with that? But I don't know.
So speaking of insane internet connections. How about that internet too?
Yeah. How about that internet too? This is like the chupacabra of technology to me.
What do you call
because
it?
I keep hearing it.
It's the chupa thing.
I keep hearing about it, but some technology I'm having trouble wrapping my head around. So am I going to have to subscribe to a different internet, or is this like Gopher versus HTTP?
It's kind of like Gopher versus HTTP. It's a separate backbone, separate from everything that you access today, unless you're at a university. Several universities have access to Internet 2, which is what we're talking about. And so the latest funding that they've received, $62 million in a broadband stimulus grant from the government to get this new project underway. The new project will result, the new structure, are you ready? Hold on to your pants. 8.8 terabits per second. Terabit. That's a T. Terabits.
Jeez. So, what kind of caps are we going to have on that?
200 gigabytes per millisecond.
Ooh.
That's your limit.
Your cap is we'll give you 10 gigabytes a month, and you'll be done with that in a second.
Yeah, you click download and you're done.
Wasn't that the thing with 4G? Like, you have your cap of like 2 gigabytes, and you could blow through that in like a half an hour.
Oh yeah,
It's like seriously, there's just the scales are tipped the wrong way on this stuff. It's ridiculous.
So the other thing about Internet 2, which is why we're not really excited, the whole point of Internet 2 is to provide an extremely fast, extremely efficient way of having communication for telemedicine and distance learning programs, stuff like that. So increasing infrastructural strength, not necessarily increasing strength for your living room.
So, like is this going to be dedicated to those kind of high functioning systems like that? Like,
that's what it has been since its inception. Its point of use is basically government, educational, and medicine. So libraries, hospitals, clinics, community colleges, stuff like that.
So it's back to the truly free, open internet like we originally had, maybe?
Yeah, kind of. Very much like DARPANET and the way that was born.
Feels like the 1995 heyday of the internet before it got all commercialized. Maybe that's what we do. We have the internet. Everybody buys into it. Starts regulating it. We build another internet, faster, stronger, better.
We have the money. We have the parts.
Yes, we have the parts. We have the routers to make it stronger, faster. Okay, that's enough references.
Wow.
I say we all buy a pirate ship and take over
levels.
Internet. Who's with me?
Different levels with a bigger series of tubes, like
yes.
Big old water slide of tubes, and we'll just build onto that, and you government, you can have your old rusty internet. You like old things to build on.
We want the new hotness. You can have the old busted.
New hotness, old busted with your yeah.
Speaking of busted, this is working out really well.
Segway mania.
We're good.
Pwn to Own, day one.
Tell me about Pwn to Own, Rob. I've only heard a little bit about this. All I know is that Chrome's awesome.
Okay, so Pwn to Own is a contest held every year at the CanSec West security conference. It's been around since 2007. If you are unfamiliar with the internet speak, to pwn, P-W-N, means to hack. And to own...
Yes.
Is to obtain some sort of ownership over said device. So you hack to obtain ownership or root access, if you will, on said device or piece of software. So every year there's laid out a series of targets, being software and or hardware. So last year, what were we looking at? All the usual browsers, as well as the Apple iPhone 3GS, the BlackBerry Bold 9700, stuff like that. So there's money amounts attached, large money amounts attached. You can win up to $100,000 for kicking a web browser if you happen to kick all four in a category or whatever.
Well, you also have to figure that along with a monetary prize, these people are probably going to get very high-paying jobs.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If they don't already.
Oh, yeah.
This is something that if you compete in, you can guarantee yourself a job at a very good security firm.
Right.
Anywhere in the world.
Dicks.
So, let's see. Day one, first day of competition. Safari and Internet Explorer defeated.
Surprise!
Just done. Safari was version 5.0.3 installed on a fully patched OS X 10.66. The way the competition works is you build up your exploit. You can come with software package in hand, but the software you are cracking will be the latest version of the software.
So you could build it up. They could have closed that flaw before you showed up there that day.
Right,
Boom,
exactly.
you're screwed.
So a French security firm took on Safari, and after 5 seconds, they launched their specially crafted malicious web page, launched the calculator in the OS to demonstrate execution of arbitrary code, and then they wrote a file to the hard disk. 5 seconds. That's all it took.
Jeez.
Second and last browser to fall for the day was 32-bit Internet Explorer 8, fully patched, and it doesn't say how long it took them, but it didn't take long. And then day two, iPhone 4 and the BlackBerry Torch 9800, done. The iPhone was running iOS 4.2.1, not 4.3. I'm just skimming through anything interesting here. Firefox, Android, and Windows 7 were scheduled to be tested on day 2, but the researchers that had signed up, they were no-show. They didn't attempt anything. And somebody was supposed to take on Chrome, but the day that he was supposed to take on Chrome, Google patched something like 24 security holes, and so the assumption is that his awesome hack was somewhere in that security patch.
Chrome
so,
is scary with their updates. That whole behind-the-scenes updating, like I went in one day and usually at the end of the week I clear my browser history and data and passwords in case I forgot something, just to be safe, and instead of doing the usual pop-up menu, it took me to the in-browser new setting window going on. I'm like, what is this? This wasn't here last week. It's the reverse of Facebook, which I've come to say that you can never be a social media expert because Facebook keeps changing where the button goes that you should know. But
speaking of new things that are awesome. Sorry, I'm excited.
Go ahead. But you get the idea.
Yeah. New version of Chrome. Do you have it?
Apparently, I do at work. I don't know why. What's big?
It's let me double check my version number. Chrome 10 made it to. Oh, look, Google Chrome is out of date because it hasn't been restarted in a while. I just went to look at the About Google Chrome screen and it told me it needed an update. I installed this 2 days ago.
Oh, jeez.
This is on my new MacBook, so I literally installed it 2 days ago. Google Chrome 10 is in the wild now. It is released for the main users. And it's got a bunch of cool new features that I will inform our users about. If you hop in your address bar and you type about, flags, there's a bunch of new labs experimental features that you can play with, including tab overview, my favorite. If you have a multi-touch trackpad, swipe down with 3 fingers and it gives you an expose-esque view of all of your tabs.
Ooh, there's labs for Chrome?
Oh yeah, there's labs for Chrome. It's always been there, but you usually have to have the dev version. But this stuff is
dangerous. That is dangerous.
Something else you want to look into is 3 GPU accelerated compositing, which enables 3D CSS and high performance of compositing of web pages using your GPU. So basically, enabling the browser to access your GPU to render high performance graphics in the browser.
Something that's probably a case of that, and actually no, this was a Chrome thing. Have you seen the Katamari ball?
No.
There is code that you put in your browser, and it turns a Katamari ball comes up. It starts playing the music from the game, and it takes up all the images and text from your web page.
Wow.
In 3D. Awesome. There's a 3D ball on your desktop. They passed this over to me at work the other day. Probably Katamari Google Chrome, maybe.
Yeah.
Give that a shot, Matt. Not that we'd be able to show it on here, but maybe I'll show that later or something. But yeah, it's ridiculous. This HTML5 stuff. That's going to be, I wish it would have taken off on here because it'd be interesting. And I know that they wanted it to start off with. There are HTML5 stores for like iPods and stuff, so I played with.
Speaking of iPods.
Whoa.
All right, let me put that picture up.
Were we talking about iPods?
Why is there a Zune on that screen?
It's a cemetery.
Zune? What's happening?
Several sites are reporting today that Microsoft is going to discontinue the Zune.
Ooh.
And bring it back with the new Windows 7 phone music Xbox Player 7 phone thing.
Well, see, I'm not going to go very much in depth on this story because I can't find 2 websites that have the same news.
I think this is mostly rumor mill stuff.
Yeah, this is definitely rumor mill stuff.
Microsoft is discontinuing the Zune.
Okay.
The only thing I'm unable to confirm is whether they're doing away with the entire line of Zune, or if they're replacing it with the Zune HD.
See, now, we also have the Zune Marketplace on the Xbox now.
Right.
I think the Zune has been integrated with that Windows Phone 7 that Rob was just taking pot shots at. So I think it's become more service than hardware at this point.
Right. So we'll have more updates next week. I just wanted to show
it develops in the Zune story.
Yeah, I just wanted to show that picture.
Keep you on the edge of your seat.
That is a pretty great picture.
I liked it.
Rob, I downloaded this, but apparently there are no local mines in my area of Mount Lebanon. Actually, the closest local mine I found was in Ross Park Mall, and I'm in the South Hills. So, what's up with local mines, sir?
Local mines. So right now, I don't know if you know, there's this thing going on. It's called South by Southwest.
Oh,
kind of a big deal.
Is this the winner? Is this year's Twitter or Foursquare?
It could be. It is being purported as such. There hasn't been. I haven't heard much buzz about anything else. You know, there's always a whole bunch of product launches for South by. There's a lot of developers down there. For anybody who doesn't know, South by Southwest is it's not a conference. It's basically just a big party in Austin, Texas. A lot of tech companies go there. A lot of developers go there. It's the who's who and what's what of startups and tech. Hang out, meet a lot of people. It's very expensive to go, but totally worth it from what I hear for the most part. It's one of those things you should go at least once, and if you're trying to sell a new product, you definitely should check that out. So the people who developed LocalMind have been on the radar for a lot of tech blogs as the new upcoming thing to check out, and it's actually a really cool concept. So, are you familiar with Quora?
Quora,
QUORA.com.
That's crickets.
Sounds familiar.
It's kind of like question answer sourcing. It's a really cool website. If you have a question about anything,
I did sign up for that and forget about it.
Yeah. So it's really cool.
It's really cool that I remember.
Right. And it's basically you go to Quora and you would type in an answer or whatever, and then you're crowdsourcing your information based on whoever else is looking at Quora. It's a big question answer farm. So very cool.
I bring it up here in Pittsburgh, and I am one of 3 local mines apparently. There's somebody out at Paris 66. Looks like out in your neighborhood, out in the Friendship East Liberty area, sir.
Yeah, I see that there. That's yeah.
It's probably Rob.
And there's somebody all the way up in Allison Park at Spadafora's Bar and Restaurant. Now, apparently, the idea seems to be, this is just me looking at my phone like the guys from the Windows commercial.
Nice.
Oh wait.
Well, the reason that I bring up Quora is that it is a mix of Quora and Foursquare. It is Quora and Foursquare bought together.
Like it seems to be like the samples. Did you just turn yours on? Because somebody just popped up here.
Yeah, that would be me.
Near, I won't say the address. Is it okay?
That
was kind of cool because I literally just saw you pop up on my phone. Yeah. Just a little local mine popped up.
The factory, 5,000 pen app.
Wow.
Yeah. The idea is like you see somebody at some restaurant and you say, "Hey, is it hard to get a table there tonight?" And I'll pop up and I think it's tied to your text messaging. Like so, if I'm say at Giovanni's.
It's tied to your Foursquare.
What's that?
It's tied to your Foursquare, and then the app it'll send you a text message to ask you a question.
So do I have to have it open? Like walk into Giovanni's Pizza on West Liberty, and then it'll tag so I still have to think about where having this open to register where I'm at.
You just have to check into Foursquare.
Okay,
and
so
then if you are accepting questions. You can, I don't know what the multitasking is like on this. I mean, like you said, not a lot of people in Pittsburgh.
You don't want to leave it on because it's using GPS.
Yeah, it's using GPS, but it's using your last Foursquare check-in. It's not always checking. Okay. It's checking what you last did in Foursquare.
So there's a service going on beyond what's happening in this app. Is this iPhone only right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But they have to be working on other versions.
I just checked on mine. I found out that there's a Winamp application now.
Oh yeah, they're advertising Winamp on Android like crazy
for my phone now, which excites me because Winamp is the iTunes for Windows.
Yeah, kicking the llama's ass.
Right.
Yeah.
And it updates wirelessly.
Nice. So, you got to speed on that, man.
So
everybody's Malengo bitches at me every day. It's like, why don't we have Wi-Fi updating?
So now I can go home and install the computer plug-in and update all my music wirelessly while I'm sleeping.
Yeah. Well, you've been able to, if you jailbreak your iPhone, you've been able to wirelessly sync your iPhone with Winamp.
Yeah, I know.
But that involves jailbreaking, and people are lazy.
Another win for Android that makes me jealous is Google Nav will now route you around traffic, which I could really use in the city.
Awesome. I don't drive.
You don't drive. I love when I'm like, hey, Google Map that. And he's like, I have what now? He was like, you've had a Google phone as long as I've had an iPhone. How does that work? But I'll have to see. Maybe MapQuest on mine will do something like that. So, all right. On that note, Matt, thank you for being so talkative tonight. You're at the silentninja.wordpress.com. Yeah. He's playing the Katamari game on his browser right now.
On our show notes.
It's on your show notes. He's rolling up the show notes. That's how you wrap up the show. But go check him out. Yeah. I don't know. He might be around.
Maybe.
Chachi, you have ChachiSays.net.
Yeah.
You have Chachi Says the Vidcast.
Right.
You have Chachi on Twitter.
Yeah.
Chachi Says on Twitter.
Right.
You do things. You incite stuff.
I even got a fancy new Chachi Says hat.
Yeah, you can wear that now. It's the end of the show.
See? It's over here.
CS for you audio listeners. Chachi Says.
I'm excited about that. Yes. Sorry.
Oh, spelling for that Quora. Isn't it Quora?
Yeah.
Okay. That's for chill in the chat room. So.
It is Quora.com. Really cool. And then, so local mind is, you can ask a question of anybody but local to where they are. So like you said, like when they're checking in, or you could feasibly, we could see that somebody's checked into the Sorgatron Media Studios and say, hey, what are the shows tonight?
Hold on, let me check into the Sorgatron Media Studios. And
I'm going to ask you a question. We're gonna live demo the outro.
Hey, what the hell
show.
do you do here? Good question. Somebody hijacked mayorship of this place for a while that I've never met before. I'm like, who's in
Somebody did the same thing to me, and I called
in my
them out.
house? Yeah, I've seen your mayorship come up for your place.
Yeah, I tweeted about that this weekend. Someone became mayor of my church that has never been inside my church. It was a drive-by. It was. That's honestly because it's not a big church.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if someone knew and someone, how do I put this? Young enough and hip enough to understand Foursquare in comparison to the people that are the majority of my church.
Oh, yes, and I got a local mine question via local mine, pants. And I hit reply, and it pulls it up in my text. Yes, because I set up, because it sends you a text that says, hey, you might want to add this to your thing. Cause it's
I have
be
pants.
Local mine. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. That is the functionality I wish Foursquare would have. Because, like I said, I think I mentioned, I was telling somebody else the story this past week that, like, Jim Loke had been on the show. He checked in a Sheets or something, and I was like, hey, I just made a comment about that Sheets that I go to or something. And he's like, who is this? I'm like, and it came over text message. And I was like, why did Foursquare just text message the message I put in Foursquare? Anyways. Weird. But, all right.
So, Rob, what do you got going on?
Whoa, jeez, mute button, man.
He's dead.
Wow.
I'm flying to Toronto on Tuesday.
Ooh.
So
fancy.
Ooh la la.
Yeah, I currently do not know if I'm going to be on the show next week.
Well,
yeah.
I can cover for you, Rob.
Yeah, I don't know what time I'm getting in, but I do know that I need to be. I'm actually looking.
I got your back.
We're holding. We got Scarehouse Scott on next week too. Maybe he'll be the Rob of the week.
Yeah, I'm arriving at 5 in Toronto, and I got to get our stuff together and for our show and whatnot. So
okay, so we will be auditioning a new co-host for the Awesome.
You are not auditioning anything. I'll be back.
Temporary co-host. It'll be like how Jay Leno started on the Tonight Show, and we know how that worked out. So somebody will be here. Maybe Matt here will fill in for you.
No,
maybe
I will be the Rob.
You'll be the Rob.
Maybe I'll record a super sexy voicemail for you or something.
Oh, yeah. Give us a video voicemail. Send us a video voicemail of you landing, and we'll play it on the show.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if I can put that together on my iPhone, because I'm gonna have to turn off service when I cross the freaking border, so I don't get charged international overages.
I was gonna say you can maybe if you can steal away a little bit, you can Skype us on your phone. But never mind, sir.
Wait.
I'll have to find a Wi-Fi network
country?
or something.
Yeah, Wi-Fi. Canada is a different. I know it's not just America's hat.
No. That actually, I have attorneys all the time at the firm who will leave to go to Mexico or Canada.
Yeah.
Get there, their Blackberries won't work, and then they call me extremely PO'd because they don't have service in Mexico or Canada and don't understand why. And my first question is, did you have us turn on international service plan before you left? And they're like, I'm in Mexico.
That's like California.
Yeah, and I'm just like, yeah, that's a different country. And they're like, oh, well, can we do that now? I'm like, no, you're out of the country now.
You can't activate it out.
We can't activate international plans outside of the country.
Because it needs to connect to them. Oh, yeah, man.
It happens all the time. These people leave the country and go someplace so simple like Toronto or somewhere like right across the border. And
that's like going to New York or something, probably from here.
Yeah.
That should be simple. They don't understand. Listen, if you gave a passport, you need to let us know you're going there before.
If you
if you gave a passport, your phone's not going to work.
Yeah. So Mike, what do you got going on?
I got things.
You got things?
Sorgatron.com. We have some stuff from some work early. So what? Sorgatronmedia.com.
Yeah.
That one. Man, we have some stuff linked there that we're doing locally here with some activists and political groups and stuff. So if you want to see what the other side of what we're doing, WrestlingMayhemShow.com. We got the Mayhemies, our yearly, kind of late this year.
Screw those.
Awards. We'll get to that. We're going to have suits. It'll be fantastic.
I'm not wearing a suit.
Of sorts.
You'll be lucky if I'm wearing pants.
And I'm blogging. I'm trying to blog more. I have more blogs than just what I podcasted about this week. Believe it or not. So go check those out at Sorgatron.com. And, general stuff. General things.
You want to read the contact information, boss?
That's at, we're at AwesomeCast.com. You can contact us at contact@AwesomeCast.com. Or you can send us a voicemail there at 724-25-ACAST. That's 724-25...
Wait for it.
It's on a pretty good delay.
Yeah, there we go.
252-2278.
Yes, 2278.
There you go. Thank you guys for joining us for Matt, Chachi, and Rob. This is Sorg. We are the AwesomeCast. You are an awesome audience, and this has been our awesome chat as well. We'll see you guys next awesome week.
Here with Doug Bradley, most notably Pinhead from Hellraiser.
I'm a member of the Screen Actors Guild of America, and I've just advocated illegally downloading films. It'd be called Throwable, because it has nothing whatsoever to do with feet.
That is very true.
I wish you all the health in the world, but sort iTunes out, please.
Find more of this and other shows at sorgatronmedia.com.